Five, four, three, two, one. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix. In the mix.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I wanted to find out what week we're in.
We in week 12. Week 11. 12. We didn't have last week. That would have been week 11.
Are you sure?
I mean, that would have been week. This would be week 12 if we was there last week.
Okay, so we're in week 12.
We did 10 episodes prior to that.
Okay, all right. Well, welcome to Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne. We were off last week because, prom season and graduation season take care of some obligations, right? But we're back. We're back live and direct. So I'm so excited. Yeah. Can we get another hand clap, crew? Let's go. Yeah. So...
What's going on?
So let's make some announcements. So we're happy to be back. We want you to call in. Number is 914-969-6499 or 718-705-4959. We have an exciting show for you guys this evening, ladies and gents. But before we get into it, we want to welcome everyone to the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in on inthemixradio.com, INTHEMIXXradio.com. If you're tuning in Facebook Live or Instagram Live, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this evening. So, meeting the authentic you, this is what inspired our show. This is the inspiration. I'll show everybody. Here we go. This is the inspiration for our live podcast. And we call it a live podcast because we're live on Facebook and Instagram and inthemixradio.com.
Yeah, you can see us every which way.
Also, you can hear us again on SoundCloud if you didn't catch the live show.
Yeah.
We are on SoundCloud. So download the app. Tap into Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne. So this is why it's our live podcast.
And you can catch us on YouTube too. If you're not able to join in with us live, we done uploaded our episodes onto YouTube.
Yes.
So if you struggling or you busy or you preoccupied or you forget and you need some of this energy with you, you could also go to our YouTube page, Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne.
Yes, please. We need your support on YouTube.
Subscribe to the page.
Please
leave us a comment. Like the video. Let us know that you tuned in with us and that you rocking with us. We want to hear from you.
And we need our supporters. We need to definitely get to 100 minimum. That's the goal for the next 30 days. So please log in and subscribe to. We need to get to at least 100 subscribers. In order for us to do something.
That's for YouTube. That's for YouTube.
Your help. That is for you too. Okay? Holla. So, Dwayne, tell them where they can purchase our book.
Oh, you could get the book Barnes & Noble. Make sure you go there.
Where else?
It's a guarantee. Any online site that you can purchase books from, you can get that book from there.
Yes.
You definitely want to get your copy of this Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne Meeting Authentic You. You definitely want to get that this material. This is really like a easy read. It's really a mirror kind of book. You will be able to take a deeper look at yourself, a more of an honest look. We got some homework in here. We got some questions in here. We got some stuff that you can really sit with and really get a better understanding of yourself, because that's the purpose of the book, which is to meet the authentic you. We want you to meet your authentic self, and you can start to be your authentic self. That's the purpose of the book. So you can get the book online, and you can get it at some of these stores, preferably Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
Go there and get that book. Meeting Authentic You. Let's get into it. What's up?
So no, you tell me about the Vibe With Me Army.
Oh man, the Vibe With Me Army right now. I got to get you some pictures, Cruz, too, man, of the T-shirts, because the Vibe With Me Army, man, is once again each week. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want you to think I'm lying, but trust and believe this army is forming, man. Like, we got people in other states. Once again, we got people in other countries. They feeling the vibe. They tuned in every morning. They tuned into the podcast. They tuned into everything that's going on with this energy that Whitney and I are giving out. So you want to make sure that you want to get your sweatshirt, get your T-shirt. The summer's breaking. Holla at me on Instagram, d.gram3, the number 3. If you want to put an order in, I'm dealing with people directly. It ain't no website yet. You dealing with me directly. I want you to feel this energy when you contact me saying I need a sweatshirt, a hat, or a T-shirt, and I'm going to get that thing to you. Let's talk about this Go Get It conference.
Go Get It conference. Now, everything that we're talking about, just to let you know, if you're watching us live on Facebook or inthemixradio.com, also on our YouTube channel, you will see the flyers. You'll see the Vibe With Me sweatshirts, so you'll have an idea. You will have a visual. We're showing visuals.
Yeah.
So make sure you log on so you can see us live, so you can see this thing happening. So Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
3rd annual.
Yeah. Let me show the people
what. Go Get It. Here we go. 3rd annual. Let me turn this around. Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference.
There it is. Let's go.
Yeah, November 3rd at the Radisson Hotel.
Yeah.
We have some transformational speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, you make sure you get there.
I'm booked for speakers now, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Also, we have some vendors, exhibitors who are going to blow your mind. They're selling posh products and services to help you celebrate you. And that's the theme. Celebrate you. We're celebrating women across the globe, but not just women. We have some men that we're also celebrating during this conference, but we're celebrating the audience as well.
That's good.
So you want to come out November 3rd, 2018. The conference is from 9 to 5 at the Radisson Hotel in New Rochelle, New York. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. We're actually going to start selling our tickets in the middle of June in a couple of weeks. So go get it. Women's Empowerment Conference. Let's go.
Year 3. Just to add that. This is the 3rd year. This is not the first year. This is the 3rd year that my sis Whit been going bananas. She's been stepping out on faith. She's been actually attacking. She's been being transformed by the vision that God has given to her. And you know what? I just want to encourage anybody who feels like you desiring a level of transformation, a level of healing, some inspiration, some connection, even a deeper conviction in your faith, in your understanding of what your purpose is, you want to attend this Go Get It Women's Conference. So make sure you contact my sis. Give the people your social media handles. Let them know where they could contact you at.
Sure. Social media, Whitney Smith on Facebook. Also, Whitney D. Smith on Facebook. Then on Instagram, it's I am Whitney D. Smith on Instagram. And you can also contact me on our conversations, convo with Whitney and Dwayne, Whit and Dwayne, on Instagram and also on our YouTube page. So I'm locked in. When you contact Dwayne, you can contact me as well. Go, Dwayne, tell them your social media handles.
My social media handles, once again, is d.gram, the number 3 on Instagram, and on Facebook is Mr. Graham is God's Child. And to add, if you feel like you need some counseling, I'm also providing individual phone counseling conversations. Prices are reasonable, very affordable. And let me just add this in here. Unfortunately, sadly, we just witnessed, a millionaire, billionaire who took their life. So according to the story. So, money doesn't necessarily mean that, you'll be happy, right? So I would like to believe that if this person really felt like they had somebody they can talk to, maybe this person will still be able to be here. So if you're experiencing some types of situations or crisis or storm and you're just feeling all alone, and you may feel too weak to pray, contact d.gram3. I'm willing to be there for you however I can, if I can be there. Contact me. I'm providing counseling sessions. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Tune in with us every Thursday on our podcast show. We got also Monday. If you don't want to pay for a session, but you feel like you need some prayer and you ain't got no money, tune in every Monday from 7 to 7:15. We have our Monday morning glory. every Monday morning from 7 to 7:15 over the last 5 years. Me and my sis Wit have been praying for the people every Monday morning. We have a minimum of 35 to 40 people who call in every Monday morning for prayer. So sometimes if you don't feel connected and you just feel like you need to be around some kind of energy, make sure you call in to that Monday morning glory prayer, that conference call line. We got that energy. We are tuning in, tapping in, and we are overcoming, and we are enduring. We are crying with you, praying with you, teaching you, talking to you, getting to know you every Monday morning. So if you want counseling, you want prayer, you want to see us live, you want to rock with us on Instagram and Facebook, we coming at you on every which way. We got the conferences, we got the book, we coming at you every which way to make sure you get connected, not just to us, but to God and yourself, so you can start fulfilling your purpose and your vision too, because we want to see you win too. It's not all about us. We are just the servant leaders that God has called us to be, and we just fulfilling what we called to do it.
Yeah, that's it, and that's life for us.
There it is. So wait, let's get into the spirit check. How's your spirit on today, Whit?
My spirit is good. I'm feeling good. It's on heaven.
She stole my line.
Yeah, I stole his line. So what? I can steal your line.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
No, my spirit is good. My spirit is good. I'm just feeding my spirit with the right people who can speak into my spirit, speak life into my spirit.
Right.
The right. Things I'm reading. I'm investing.
Right.
I'm investing in my spirit. Okay, so I'm investing with reading the right things, the scripture.
That's good.
Reading some motivational things. Also connecting my spirit to the right people that have the right people speaking life into my spirit.
That's good.
Also telling me the truth about the things that I can do better.
That's good.
So my spirit is really it's good at this point. How's your spirit?
I'm gonna be honest with today was a challenging, overwhelming. I felt drained. There's a lot that comes with being who God is molding me into being, and the call and the weight of the call becomes heavy sometimes. So today I felt just overwhelmed with the weight of the call. So many people calling on me, leaning on me, asking for prayer and needing different things. And I just felt tired. I felt drained. I even had periods of dizziness. I had to pull myself together and just kind of just refuel. I just drank some water all day for the most part. I just ate. I had to preserve my energy for tonight's show because this means a lot to me. And I know that this is going to go to a whole nother stratosphere. So my spirit on tonight is refueled. It was drained earlier throughout the course of the day, but I'm refueled. I'm charged back up. You're gonna get that energy that you used to getting from me, and I'm looking forward to getting into this topic of this tonight's show. I'm looking forward to it. But go ahead.
But it's cool that you're transparent about it, because the thing is that people could say, "Oh wow, is Dwayne always on heaven?" As far as the spirit or whatever the case is, and you can be, but at the same time, we are human,
right?
And we do get in those places where we do get drained.
Right.
Not to say that we're sad and we're feeling all depressed. No, that's not it. We do get tired.
Right.
So the thing is that we have to be honest about being where we are. The transparent. We do get tired. We do get drained.
Right.
Those things happen, but then we notice. We're so in tune with our spirit that we notice that it's time that our spirit needs to take a break, or our spirit needs to take it needs to be refueled.
Right.
So that's good that you let the people know.
Yeah, I think that's important.
The real deal.
I think it's important to let the people know, man, that even though I am charged up, overly excited, extremely convicted with this purpose and this calling and finally embracing it. That I too have moments when it becomes a little tiresome and overwhelming, and I can't always be an octopus. I can't be 8 different places at the same time, pulled on by different people. So sometimes I have to shut down and preserve this energy so I can continue to keep the vision that God called me to up front, that I never lose sight of it. So today, I'm feeling my spirit is refueled. I'm charged. I'm ready to go. I preserved it. I limited my conversations today. Good. And I'm ready to rock and roll tonight. Yeah. All
right. Before we get into the next, I want you guys to know the number.
There it is.
Okay. 914-969-6499.
Yeah.
718-705-4959. Check us, call in, because this show is about you and us.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just about Dwayne and us talking. We want you to chime in on a conversation because we want to know you. Because believe it or not, we get inspired and motivated by you.
Right.
We need to hear a word from you, too.
Right.
There's something that you might be tackling or you went through, and you are, flourishing now, or whatever the case is.
Right.
You made it through, and we might need to hear that because we might be in a place, too, so you never know.
Right.
So this is a two-way conversation.
So let's give them the number one more time with
914-969-6499.
Once again, 914-969-6499 and 718-705-4959. Call in tonight. Tonight's topic of conversation. I'm not even going to give it to you yet. We're going to get into the what's going on segment of the show before we get into tonight's topic. And we're going to stay within the time frame and the time schedule of how we're going to outline and lay out this show, rather.
Can you show them the InTheMix.com if they want to see us on live?
Okay, In The Mix. I'm sorry. INTHEMI2XXX radio.com if you want to watch us live. Instead of watching us on our social medias, Facebook and Instagram, you have that luxury and that privilege to do so. We are up and running, and we are live at InTheMixRadio.com. Check us out. Once again, that number is 914-969-6499. And the number, once again, another number is 718-705-4959. That's the number. That's the site for you to get in contact, or rather watch us live. I'm hyped. I'm trying my best to stay calm and preserve, because this topic of conversation tonight, you do not want to leave these lives. You want to stay tuned, because we got something that you need to hear on tonight. It's what you need to be ready for, because I promise you, we are coming with some energy that will transform you, renew your mind, give you a fresh perspective, and put you on the path that you need to be on, instead of you dwelling on what's not helping you at all.
Yes, and I want to shout out to all our peoples who are listening in, who are live streaming with us on Facebook and Instagram and on In The Mix. We're going to say thank you. I see y'all. I see y'all. Thank you. And I'll put the number out on there so you guys can hit us up. So let's go on to our What's Going On segment.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going? What's popping? What's shaking? What's popping? What's going on with?
What's going on segment. So tell them about this segment so they understand what this segment is about.
This segment, we mix it up. Sometimes we may talk about what's going on in the world. We may talk about, what somebody's doing, up-and-coming entrepreneurs who's having certain events, different things that's going on in the community. And we just pretty much want to let you guys know what's going on. So today, give it to them. Let the people know what's going on.
All right. So, Cruz, you see this? What's going on segment? I want to shout out. Oh, here we go. Let me put this up. I want to shout out my peoples right here on, this is what's going on segment. So there's a new book popping. It's called Happy, Nappy, and Stress Free. I want to shout out to Alrika Ricards and Janice Rivera. They wrote a book it's a book of poetry for urban teens. You got to go get it. Right. You got to go get it.
Right.
It's about a young lady who goes through the different things as a teenager. And they, instead of just writing, they put it into a form of poetry. So it's poems in here, and it ranges from really good topics. They talk about different things that they go through in their middle school age. So history class, knowledge, being unprepared. They also talk about love. They also talk about being empowered. They also talk about identity. And actually the identity piece, which I really like, they have something here called From the Caribbean. And also they have something here for the teens for a single parent. So it's a book of poetry for urban teens. I actually have the book. And to be honest, I have to shout out because they are teachers. They are writing teachers. I work with one closely. Mr. Cards, want to shout you out. Great endeavor for the teens. A book of poetry, Happy, Nappy, and Stress Free. A teen story about love, identity, puberty, school, and racism. And it's so prevalent because me being a teacher of middle school age, they're in a time in their lives where they're going through trying to know who they are. They don't know who they are, but they're dealing with all these labels and people and teachers and their parents telling them who they are. They're dealing with these relationships, trying to find out, struggling with if they like women, they like the same sex, or they like the different sex. They struggling with a whole bunch of things and peer pressure. So this book right here, definitely on point. So shout out, if you want to purchase this book, Happy, Nappy, and Stress Free, Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, all that good stuff. So this segment is, we're uplifting our community. We're uplifting people who are doing some great things.
Right.
Not just talking about the community, but trying to push, and hopefully this segment inspires you. So if you're an entrepreneur, you have something great. You have something that you want to share and you want people to know, you want to be need a different avenue to promote your business, your service. Let us know. Hit us up on our DMs, on our emails, so we can promote you on our show. It's all about helping one another. It's not about us.
Yeah.
That's what this show is about. It's not about us. It's about all of us. Community.
It's about all of us.
We supporting everybody.
So
That's
shout out to them for doing such a phenomenal work. Shout out to them for having a super dope vision, because they understand how important it is to create something that's going to carry humanity forward.
Yeah.
Especially the youth nowadays. We want to try our best to encourage them to, be as well-rounded, as gifted and as talented, and tapping into all of the gifts that they possess, because they may not have just one gift. They may have 3, 4, 5, or 11 and 12 gifts, and we want to encourage them to tap into all of it. So shout out to them once again for creating something that can have one child, even if it's just one, tap into something.
Get it.
That can change the world.
Yeah, and you know what? And your gifts will make room for you. That's what Scripture says. And everybody has a gift to give. So if you don't get discouraged, you got all these books coming out. I mean, everybody's writing these books. You have a book inside you. Man, write that book.
Write it.
Don't get distracted
Tell
about
that story.
Everybody else doing stuff. Tell your story. Everybody's story is different and unique.
Yeah.
All right? So, let's do it.
Here we go.
8:54. We on time.
Here we go.
914-969-6499.
Yeah. Please call in. Please call in.
4959. We need some callers. Where y'all at?
914-969-6499. Call in. We want to hear the topic for tonight's conversation. Now that we done got the announcements out the way, we done got the spirit check out the way, we done did what's going on. Let's get into the topic of conversation. And the topic of conversation is coming from our book, Meeting the Authentic You. Once again, this is the topic. This is where we pulling from tonight. And what we are talking about tonight is being bumped back to start. Oh, my God. Bump back to start. Sorry. Oh, my God. Let's give him some energy before we get into the conversation.
You want to give him some energy?
Oh, I got to give it to him because I was preserving it all day just for this moment. Let me help y'all understand something right now. Sometimes things don't work out. It don't go according to plan. Things get crazy, and sometimes you got to start all over with new people because the people you thought you was going to be able to do it with, they gone. They ain't here. It's over. Forget about it. Leave it alone. It's time to start all over. So tonight we getting into bump back to start. Let's start all over. Start the vision over. Start the book over. Start a new relationship. Start working out all over again. Whatever you need to start all over again, it's time to start. I'm sorry you got bumped back. I'm sorry that that person left you. I'm sorry that they lied and used you. I'm sorry that it didn't go according to your plan. I know you invested your time and your money. I'm sorry that you got to cry. And I'm sorry that you refuse to let it go because you still keep talking about it. But it's time to start all over. I told you I was preserving this energy just for this conversation right now because I've been listening to a whole lot of people who've been doing a lot of complaining and a lot of dwelling and they in their feelings with people because they have not been who people led them to believe that they were. And now they don't know how to start all over because they don't got no vision because they were sold on the fact that what they was doing was how it was going to be. And it ain't how it was going to be. And now they got to envision something else. And they laying there in that vomit, crying, going through changes, and it's time to start all over. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I am ready to go. Let's go with Let's go.
Let's get into it. So
Come on.
The inspiration for this meditation. Remember the game called Sorry, and it's still out now. People still playing it because we played in the middle school. But Sorry, the whole thing is when you're playing the game, right, and the pawns, right, that you use to go across the board.
Mm-hmm. Come on, give it to him.
The opponent can knock you off if they land in your space and they bump you back to home base. They bump you back to home base, right? So the thing is, how do we start over when we're bumped back to home base? How do we start over when we are almost to that finish line? We can see it, we can feel it, we can taste it. I see it, but then I'm bumped back to starting over. And that could be in relationships. That can be in your job. That can be in your health. Whatever life may throw at you, and life will throw things at you where you have to go right back to home base. So basically, this is where the inspiration derived from. This is where it came from. That board game called Sorry. So let me read a little piece of the excerpt out of the book. This is where the inspiration is from. This is what we're talking about this evening. Here we go. I actually want to read from. So I told you about the book, the game, Sorry. So basically, here we go. Little excerpt. Sometimes life plays out similar to the objective of this board game. You will go through situations that will frustrate you to the point of not knowing where to turn. People will come into your life and hurt you, sometimes intentionally and then sometimes not intentionally, right? There'll be times when a door will close on a love relationship, a friendship, or a career, even after investing your time and energy.
Come on.
The response you'll hear, and often we hear when things happen, right? When people do something to us, I'm sorry I stepped out on that relationship. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry, or your boss, you lose that job and you're saying, I'm sorry that I had to let you go, right? I apologize. We always are hearing this verbiage called I'm sorry. Situations like these bump you back to the beginning. They put you in a place where you have to start over and leave you feeling frustrated and unsure of what to do.
Yeah. There'll
be many instances in our lives where we cannot control. We can't control these bumps back to sorry. Bumps back to home base. However, we must ask ourselves, what lessons are we learning from these painful circumstances? When a shift occurs in our lives, we move from one location to another. The question is, am I going in the right direction? And change and starting over can be difficult to accept. But there is a blessing in going back to start and getting bumped from your spot on the game board of life. I'm going to say that again. Change and starting over can be difficult to accept. But there is a blessing in going back to start and getting bumped from your spot on the game board of life. Okay? So that's where I'm going to end with reading a piece of this meditation. The thing is, when we have to go back to the home base and start over, a lot of us are uncomfortable with that. A lot of us do not want to start over because we feel like we messed up. We feel like we failed, or life and situations failed us. Whether it's relationships or your job. But a lot of us are uncomfortable with going back to home base. It's because we've invested so much time, so much energy in these particular situations. Now, what do? I got to start all over again, going through the same. And they think because they have to start all over again, they might have to repeat those situations or repeat those steps. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality, God brings us back to home base for a reason. For us to be able to recognize where we recognize or learn from the lessons in the situations that we were in. Because sometimes we don't belong in those places where we end up in. So God has to kind of shake the situation up, and we have to basically return back to home base. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They feel like there's no blessing in starting over when there is a blessing in starting over, because you can reassess the situation, reassess yourself, get back into who you are, and also learn a lesson that the reason why this didn't work out, there's a lesson in that why it didn't work out.
So let's give the people some hope in this conversation with. So as I'm listening to you and as I'm reading along with you, right, what I feel led to share for somebody who's really struggling with this idea and this reality of having to start all over, because their context doesn't really suggest or present the opportunity to really start over. So if you're in a situation
it might suggest them the opportunity to start over, but they can't see it.
Okay, that's one perspective, right? That's one perspective, one perception that we can suggest, which is right. It's not wrong, right? But that person in that space, they may still not see it, to your point. So let's give them more hope and give them new language that they can also still start all over, but language it another way. And that language is, let's not necessarily start all over, but let's reinvent ourselves. Let's reinvent another version of yourself, even though things didn't go the way you wanted them to go. Right? So we have classic examples of people that you look at and they're role models, they're quote unquote successful individuals, and things didn't go according to the way they thought that they were going to go. Right? So we can look at LeBron James for an example, right? Things didn't go the way he thought they was originally going to go in Cleveland. It was still LeBron James, but he started all over and he went to Miami. And look what happened with him. Then he leaves Miami, he reinvents himself again. He goes back to Cleveland and he wins again. He starts all over, but he reinvents himself and he wins again. So if you're struggling with things not going the way that you thought that they were supposed to go, and you find yourself feeling lost or defeated, or you lost some stuff, you still have the luxury of being able to reinvent yourself regardless of whatever your context is. If you think that starting over literally is impossible for you to do because of how your context is, you still have the luxury of being able to reinvent who you are, because in that case, or that example of LeBron, he's still LeBron, but he started over by reinventing himself and relocating himself. It was still him. He still had to live with the reality that his team lost. He got lost in the finals. It was a bunch of things that didn't go the way he probably thought and trained and invested time into thinking that things were going to go this way. But it didn't go that way. But he reinvented himself. He started a new season with a new team. And you know what he did? 3 times he won. 3 times. He lost 5 times, but he won 3 times. But my point to you is, whatever your situation is, you have the choice, the luxury of choice. When you feeling like things did not go the way you thought they were going to go, you have the choice to reinvent yourself. And in reinventing yourself, that is your starting all over.
It's all about choices. Good example of LeBron James. Even if you can't change locations and you have to still stay in the same location that hurts you, right? Because sometimes we still are in certain places where we don't have the luxury to change our physical location, right? So if you don't have the luxury to change your physical location, you could change your mental location.
Your spiritual location.
Your spiritual location, your mental location, your emotional location. You have a choice to change all of that. You may not be able to change your physical location like LeBron James did, or anybody else could, just get up and leave. You can't do that. But you have a choice to change where you are where you are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It all starts with a choice. And you have that choice because you're still breathing. Well, you still have life in your body. So you have the choice to change or reinvent yourself.
Well, let's get into the example that you wrote inside of the book, Whit. You said for an example, right? J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Always dreamed of becoming a writer. She had a 9-to-5 job as a secretary. She didn't have the financial situation situated enough for her to actually remove herself and pick up and move and go somewhere, right? But was fired for spending too much time on the job talking and dreaming about becoming a writer. Look at her now. She's the author of Harry Potter series, which is tremendously successful. So we have examples, numerous examples of individuals who, whether they was able to physically and financially reposition themselves to relocate, to start all over because they had a hard time accepting whatever didn't go that way, or they did not have it. They had jobs, dead-end jobs that wasn't really fulfilling. It wasn't purposeful. They did it because they had to take care of their family and feed their kids or whatever the case may be, but they had the consistency and they had the conviction to turn what didn't work out into something that would work for them. I want you to hear that again. They had the consistency and the conviction to turn what didn't work out into something that would work for them. So for you in your situation with feeling like, dag, I got to start all over again, like this thing did not work, like why did this have to go down? Why did this person have to treat me or leave me or whatever it is that they had to do? Do you have the consistency and the conviction to turn what did not work into something that now will work for you with this new idea, this new vision, and this willingness to reinvent yourself, to transform yourself, to let what did not happen again introduce you to a newer version of yourself? Because maybe that's why it did not work. Maybe it didn't come together because you needed to be introduced to a newer version of yourself, that if it did work, you would still be somebody that you don't even like. You're not even in love with. You're not even proud of this particular person. So yeah, you're positioned, or yeah, you got who you thought you wanted, but you still don't feel like you're fulfilling purpose. You still don't know who you are. You still are, got these unrealistic expectations, and you going through changes, and you want somebody else to make you feel better about yourself instead of you feeling better about yourself. So maybe you being bumped back to start has more to do with you becoming who you never been.
Well, I think that us being bumped back to start is God's way of saying that you're not. I knew you wasn't. You've been praying for this to happen and this person to come in your life, but I knew you weren't ready at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I gave you a little bit to test you, to see if you can get through this test, to see if you can to steward over this situation I gave you, and you weren't ready for it. I knew you weren't ready for it, but you kept praying and praying and praying, saying, God, give me this. And I knew you wasn't ready for it, so I bumped you back to start so you can deal with the process, so I can get you ready for what I really have for you. You know what I mean? So the thing is that when we're bumped back to start, it's about us becoming who God is creating us to be, but it's also about becoming or being able to handle what God has for us, because he sees us on this road. He says, you know what? I got so much more for this person. I got so much more for them that they can't really handle it right now. So I need to bump them back to start so they can be able to get closer to me, to be able to be where I need them to be and endure the process so they can be able to handle what I have for them.
That's good.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's good.
So I think when we get bumped back to start, okay, this is the thing. What do we do? How do we handle it, right? What are the steps?
Well, let's ask the people. Let's ask the people.
Yeah, okay. Let's ask the people. We need you guys.
I want you to still do it. I still want you to go where you was going. But hopefully somebody decides to call in. And I want to hear somebody's thought. 914-969-6499 or 718-705-4959. What do you do when you get bumped back to start?
There's a lot of people out there that lost jobs, right? They had to get another job, right? Or you lost a relationship, right? You had to start dating again. What else? I know it's things in your life that you have lost. Whether it's even a family member or whatever the case is, that you found yourself in a place where you had to reinvent yourself, or you've been bumped back to start. How did you handle it? Yeah,
let's get into it. Somebody give us a call. We want to talk to you. Yeah, we can keep this thing going. But go ahead, wait before we get until we get the call. Where you was going? What do you do? What do you do?
What are the steps? So we know that once you get bumped back to start, and the thing is that being bumped back to start, it's a couple of things. It's definitely a situation that happened, but it might not have been your fault. It could have been somebody else's fault. It could have been God just saying, you know what, you ain't ready for this right here. I gotta take you. You need to go back. So it's a lot of variables in why we get bumped back to start. So the thing is, when we get bumped back to start, how do we reinvent, or how do we start over, or how we start walking in the steps again? I think the first thing we are mentioned is it's a choice, right? You said we have to choose to want to be able to reinvent ourselves, right? Or have a choice. We said first, having a choice. I don't want to stay here.
If we're gonna give them a step by step, I think that that's number 2 or 3. I think the first one is accepting the fact that you have to accept that things didn't work out.
I like that. Okay,
that's number 1.
Here we go. Wait, let's stay right there. So first, we are accepting where we are, Right.
And just because you accept it don't mean you got to like it. But you
No.
have to come to terms with the fact that it didn't work that out.
You're confronting where you are. You are in reality. Okay? Your reality. Okay, my heart's been broken. He left me. She left me. The relationship didn't work out. So I'm going to deal with where I'm feeling right now.
That's
so
the
I
accepting.
think accepting your emotions is accepting where you are at that point.
So that's boom. Number one,
that's
accepting.
Number one,
if we was the outline of it, right, well, then that's number one. Number two is then confronting, right?
So
confronting where you are, right?
Accepting where you are.
That's
and
number one.
Two, we're going to confront.
We have to confront, right? We have to confront the emotions. We have to confront the mindset. We have to confront our beliefs about how we feel about ourselves now, how we see ourselves now. Because some things that don't work out the way we thought it was going to work out, it really rattles many of us. It shakes our very foundations, and then we start second guessing and questioning who we really are. Was we enough? Why weren't we enough? What did I do wrong? And then we start entertaining thoughts that have nothing to do with why we were bumped back to start. Because you were bumped back to start, or because we were bumped back to start, it doesn't necessarily mean we did something wrong or we was not enough. It probably just really suggests that more stuff has to be added to us in order for us to receive whatever it is that God or life or the universe or the mysterious force, whatever you want to call it, created us for. So it's not necessarily a punishment. It's not that something always went wrong or we lacked something. Sometimes it's just some more stuff needed to be added to us. It's not always about wrong, because sometimes when we have conversations like this, it can be interpreted as if you did something wrong and that's the reason why certain things didn't happen, or some of the people that you were connected to wasn't right enough for you in order for you to continue to stay on this path that you was on. So sometimes being back to start, like you said, where it has many variables, there's many different particulars, that everybody's context is different in terms of why we have to be bumped back to start. So we first have to accept, then we have to confront. We have to confront how we are, how we're feeling, and where we currently are in order for us to then establish some kind of vision for, or the reinvention of, who we will now be now that we're trying to pick ourselves up and start anew instead of staying where we are, because the blow of having to start all over hurts.
Well, let's start. I want to say something about number two, because I'm in a couple of positions where I've been bumped back to start. So I understand what I wrote about in this book 2 years ago, right? I'm going through a transition now. And the thing is, confronting where you are, you can confront your emotions. You confront your feelings. Confront those things that are playing in your mind or playing in your heart. You can confront those things, and you might have to sit in that for a day or two, okay? Because we're human. I had to sit with the stuff that I was confronting, my emotions and what my mind was telling me, and I had to go back and forth with my mind. It was your fault, Whitney. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. So I had to go back and forth. I had to fight with my mind for a couple of days. So if you got to sit in your feelings and sit in your emotions, you do it. And that's confronting and looking yourself in the mirror. Because sometimes it could be our fault, or sometimes it's not our fault. But at the same time, we can have to sit with our feelings. Sit with your emotions. It's okay to confront and cry, because sometimes you need to let it out. But the only thing is that you just don't stay there. So I don't want us to blow over this moment as far as confronting where you are. You just confront it for 5 minutes, you're there. No, you could take a couple of days. Take a couple of days and sit in where you are and your emotions. And once you confront it, you confront where you are, then you tackle it. You have to tackle it. You didn't do this right. No, then you speak to those negative things. So when you're confronting, then you're tackling at the same time after you confront and sit with it.
That's good stuff. What we're doing is we're outlining for somebody as well as ourselves the steps that we take when we are being bumped back to start, which is accepting, confronting, and then reinventing. This is what we've been able to cover so far. Accepting, confronting, and reinventing ourselves in order for us to pull ourselves up out of the space of hurt, the space of disappointment, the space of shock and disbelief that what happened, and now we have to continue to try our best to press forward and continue to go on, because sometimes being bumped back to start hurts. It's a huge blow, especially when
Ego
you didn't expect it. You didn't see it coming. It's different when you seen the warning, you seen the signs, you seen them coming. You knew something was going to shift. But when you didn't see it shift and you didn't see it and you was going according to the plan and things just changed, it's hard sometimes to pick yourself back up and start all over when you got snuffed. It's like a fight. You walking down the street and, you get into an altercation for whatever the reason is, and you thinking that you're just going to say some words, and it ain't just words this time because the person, they already have it on their mind that they're going to snuff you, and you don't see it coming, and they got the drop on you, and now you done either got dazed, you done feel dizzy, or you feeling on the floor because they done knocked you out. And that hurts because now somebody got to pick you up, and you wondering why did this all have to happen. And that's how life is sometimes. We get snuffed out.
You know what, too? And the thing is, sometimes when we get bumped back to start, is God's trying to reveal things that are in us and revealing things that people that we have around us are not the people that should be in our lives. They're only in our lives for a season. And sometimes we try to carry those people into different seasons with us, and they're only there for temporary.
I
They're
agree.
not there for a lifetime. Some people come in our lives for a season. Some people come into our lives for a lifetime. And sometimes we like to carry those people into a lifetime season when they're only there for a temporary season. And God says, I've been telling you for so long that this person is not supposed to be there, or you're not supposed to have that person in your company or be with them. So you know what? I'm gonna let you're gonna allow them to rock with you. You know what? I'm gonna allow something's gonna happen where that person might snuff you. And I told you so moment, right? But then you end up going back to start. So there's so many reasons why we end up back at start. It's because it could be a God move. It could be a situation we created. It could be something that somebody else created. So we want to know, we're talking about and trying to decipher how do we gain victory from going back to start.
Well,
so we're covering a lot, and we're probably going to do a part 2. We want y'all to call in 914-969-6499, 718-705-4959, 718-705-4959, inthemixradio.com. You can check us live, Facebook and Instagram. You can check us live as well.
And the last paragraph, right? You have the power to move, the bump back to start. Your bump may be a dead relationship, job termination, the loss of a loved one, or a friend who walked away. Use it as an opportunity. You have 2 choices in life. You can go back to start and reshuffle the deck, rearrange some things, and then move full steam ahead, or you can go back to start and stay stuck. Which will you choose? So what we did in the conversation is actually what we already written down in the book, which is outline the steps that if you choose to reshuffle your deck, what that looks like is accepting what happened. It's confronting how you feel and what it did to you after it happened. And then it's reinventing yourself and then going full steam ahead as you reinvent yourself, pulling yourself out of the stuck start place.
When you said reinventing, I want to add a word to that: reinvesting in yourself.
That's
you're
good.
Reinventing, but you're reinvesting
That's
in
good.
yourself.
That's good.
Reinvesting in you.
I love it.
What makes you happy? What is that you see the visions that God has for you?
I love it.
Let me reassess the situation that happened so I can learn from it so I don't get left back. What can I do to make things different in my life? What do I see for myself? So not that I'm just reinventing myself, but reinventing myself comes reinvesting in myself. I'm thinking about me and what I want, or let me say what God wants for me, so I can have those visions fulfilled in my life. Because, if I don't want to get bumped back to start, but God, being that I'm bumped back to start, what do I need to learn in this process? What did I not learn, or what did I do that bumped me back to start? Because I want to know.
That's
so
good.
you need to reinvest in you so you can reinvent yourself. Reinvest in you, then you're able able to reinvest in yourself, because once you reinvest in you, you know what road you need to take. You have this path with God. You have meditated, you have read, you have prayed, so you know the vision that God has for your life. So you're thinking about what God has for you, but you getting in tune with you loving you. You looking yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm good with who I am, and I learned my lessons from that past situation. Now it's time to write down the things and reinvent myself.
That's good stuff, Whit. And I want to add to what you just blessed us with in this revelation of the reinvesting yourself, right? And what I want to encourage somebody to be mindful of in your confronting yourself and sitting with your emotion phase is not investing so much time in your emotions.
Oh, that's good.
Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to make that mistake, because what happens, and the reason why many people stay stuck after they get hit by the blows of life and just the inconsistencies of interacting with people and ourselves at times, is we wallow. We stay stuck in the emotions of why did this have to happen? And we start raising questions to people about why things had to go the way that they went. And even in some of the answers that we may get back in return, for every question that you ask for the person who left you or mishandled you or dropped you, in every answer you get back, there's another question. So sometimes you have to stop investing so much time in the emotions, because you no answer is good enough. There's another question.
Stop the question.
There's another question that you're going to keep asking on why that this had to happen, because you're having a hard time, number one, accepting why things didn't go the way you thought that they was going to go. They didn't go the way other persons led you to believe that they were going to go. So what you want to be mindful of in this reinvesting into yourself before you can reinvent yourself is not investing so much time in those emotions. Those emotions, the unhealthy emotions, those unhealthy thoughts of holding on to why. Oh my God. And that's natural. It's a part of your process of coming out of the stuck place. But you can't stay stuck in that place, because what happens is you become a worser version of yourself. You start to become somebody that you're not proud of, pleased with, and that everybody who does see you in that space will take advantage of.
Oh, vulnerability. Oh,
you will be used, lied to, and a whole bunch of other things will start to take place. Because here's the interesting piece about this, Whit, that when you're going through that stuff right there, when you've been dropped, mishandled rather, lied to, taken advantage of, and you got to be back at that start place when you wish that you wasn't there. Here's the deep part. If you're a handsome man or woman, or you're a pretty, sexy, attractive woman, you're still sexy and attractive and pretty. And you know what? Somebody sees that sexy, attractive, pretty, vulnerable, broken.
They see it all over
you. Yes, and here they come to plot and scheme, and they want to take advantage of this beautiful, broken, vulnerable, disconnected person who they know needs an ear and need a couple dollars or whatever it is that you need, and they're coming to prey on it. And not pray for you, but pray on you. And now here you go, connecting yourself with somebody who you ain't supposed to be connected to, because you're staying in that emotional investing place longer than you should.
You're going to be bumped back to start once again. You know what I mean?
You're staying there longer than you should.
You're supposed to.
I'm
glad you said that. I'm sorry. You wear your vulnerability. I'm so glad you said that, because people don't really know that. You know what I mean? When you're vulnerable and they know you in a place, people can see that on you, even if you can't see it in you or on you. People see that. And the enemy knows where you are.
Yeah.
He knows where you are.
Yeah.
And you attract with your spirit where you are.
So what you want to do is, again, you want to be able to start to value conversations like this, and you want to not just hear them, but you want to actually start to really allow them to resonate, and then to attach the conversation to your spirit and to your mind, and then you get with the application of the information. And as you get with the application from the information, from the conversation, when that stuff starts to try to come and attach itself to you, you have the power, you have the strength, you have the wherewithal to say, no, I'm not messing with you. Yes, you're sexy. Yes, you're handsome. Yes, you're cute. You're pretty. You got all these wonderful things, but my spirit is not in agreement with you at this particular time, or maybe you at all. And this is the kind of mindset that we have to have in order for us to start to reinvent ourselves, but first reinvest in ourselves. But we can't invest so much time in those emotions. At some point, there has to be a moment in time where you come to terms with the fact that what you thought was going to work did not work. It didn't happen. And you can't hold on to it for lengthy periods of time. I mean, you can, because that's your choice, but you have to be also aware that what you're doing is you're staying in a place longer than you have to. It's like many people with nowadays, and I'm not judging them. It's just observation and awareness and insight. What's happening is that people are still stuck in 1987. You look like 1987.
I know somebody that look like 1987.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, my man or my sister, what are you doing? Like, we're not in 87 anymore. This is not an old school 80s party that you're attending. Every day you're looking like you in the 80s. So you're still stuck in the year of whatever it is that happened. So my encouragement for the persons who are there, I get it. Things are rough, unfortunate, horrific, sad, bad things have happened to people. So staying in a place emotionally because you can't let go of something that happened only makes you become a worse version of yourself. And if you're not pleased and happy with this version of yourself, then what you want to do is you want to get with this process that we just communicated tonight, which is accept, confront, reinvent, reinvest, and don't invest so much of your time into those emotions, because what happens when you do that is you stay the same. And I need you guys to hear me real good on this one.
I got something to say after that.
You stay the same and you get worse at the same time. You stay the same and you get worse at the same time. You stay the same and you get worse at the same time. So if you was 15 years old and you had this anger issue, and now you're 40 with this same anger issue, 25 years have went by and you still have an anger issue. So you stayed the same and you got worse at the same time. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to invest so much time in those emotions about what happened, because 20 years can go by so fast and you're still that 15-year-old, that still 13-year-old girl or boy who's still holding on to these emotions because you don't know how, or you refuse to let go of what happened.
And let me say this one thing, is that when you're, not only that it allows you to stay there, right, and stay complacent, but also it allows you to have other people's stuff influence you where you are. You start thinking about, dag, I had to start all the way back to, I had to go back to start, back to home base. Now you're going to start comparing yourself to other people, where they are and what they're doing. So then what you're going to do, not just be stuck, but then you're going to try to you're either going to be stuck, or you're going to now try to run this race with them, run this competition with people. So you're going to start doing all these things that God hasn't called you to do.
That's good.
All right? You're going to start thinking, okay, I got to do this. I got to write the book. I got to do the videos. I got to do the conferences. I got to do the T-shirts and sweatshirts, when God ain't calling you to do that. Because now, I'm bumped back to start, so I got to be in competition with what I see. So I'm going to be out of the will of God, because God doesn't have these particular things for me. So now I am going to try to, get myself out of this start and allow this stuff to influence me and be in certain things that God hasn't called me to.
That's good, Whit.
So not only that you stay complacent and stuck, you don't want to step into something that God is not even calling you to, and let jealousy hit you.
But that's what happens.
But because that's what happens.
There you go.
It goes so many ways.
That's what happens. That's exactly what happens when we stay in that emotional place longer than we're supposed to, and then we become emotionally stubborn, where we don't want to hear this,
right?
Which is another factor. But
again,
have
to do a part 2 to this, Dwayne, next week.
Yeah, I mean we could. I think it's great. I mean we just getting warmed up. We started a little rock and roughy and a little rugged, you know what I mean? But for the most part, we pulling it together.
Right. Well, it's 9:30 and our show is coming to a close.
Yeah.
So thank you for rocking with us. Please, we ask that you subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel. We need to get to 100 views. We need your help. Okay? I mean, not views, sorry, subscribers. We need your help. So we're going to hit you up on social media to be a part of our community on YouTube.
Yeah.
Help us out. And thank you for checking us, Whitney and Dwayne, Conversations with Us. We're going to close out like we do in prayer. You want to take it?
God, we thank you for another day.
Yeah.
Another day of your presence in our lives. Another day where you kept us and sustained us, God. We pray right now for everybody who doesn't feel like you're with them. We pray for everybody who experienced some kind of tragic, sad, unfortunate, bad report on today. We ask that you comfort them, God. We ask that you heal and restore. We ask that you just be who you've been, which is God. Father, you are the orchestra and the finisher of our faith, God. And today we need you to move on behalf of those who just don't even think that you're real anymore. We're living in a time where drama and chaos and dysfunction is saluted and celebrated and laughed at and cheered, and very few are actually giving you the glory and the honor and proclaiming and professing your power, your presence, and your love every day, God. So today we ask that you just continue to strengthen those who are doing your work out here, God, and we ask that you be with those who don't even believe that you're real anymore. Put them in situations that can transform them and they can see your power, they can see your glory. Be with the children out here, God, because children are going through so many different changes and challenges, and they're seeing things through social media, God, that they probably should not even see. And it's impacting their minds, it's impacting their relationships, it's impacting how they listen to their parents, it's impacting how they go to school, it's impacting how they even are in relationship with you. So, God, we pray for the children of today, God, our children and the children who don't even have parents who are even praying for them. Not that they're bad parents, God, but they're overwhelmed probably because of the challenges and the cares of life. So we intercede for them. We pray for the elders, God, as well, who are struggling, who are afraid, who think that any day is going to be their last day, God. So we pray that you comfort them and that you reassure them, God, that you love them, that you're with them, and that whatever's next for them, God, that you give them previews and visions of whatever that is. And then those of us who have the visions that you created us for, Father, we ask that you give us the strength. Give us the resources. Give us everything that you know that we need, Father God. But most importantly, God, don't ever, ever allow us to forget about you, because as long as we have you, we're never lacking. It's every time that we forget about you, we become somebody we never were supposed to be, and we find ourselves doing things that you never called us to do. So tonight, remind those of us who are on the front line trying to serve you, God, to never forget about you, to never allow this world to make us feel like a dollar or a vision or a goal or a dream could ever make us feel better than you. So on tonight, that's our prayer, God. Cover us as we go. Those of us who are still out, Lord, and we are not with our families, cover us on the roads, Father. Shield us and protect us from the workers of iniquity, God. Those who plot evil, Lord God. I pray for those who are actually on the side of evil, Lord. I pray that you, if they don't allow their hearts to change, God, that you deal with them in that evil that they're in. And I pray that you deal with them according to that evil. Let that evil fall back upon them and not let them, Lord God, get the victory of those who are actually doing your work and doing your will. We love you tonight, God. Forgive us for our sins today, anything that we may have said or done that wasn't pleasing in your sight. And give us the strength to do it all over again tomorrow. In your son's name we pray, God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for tuning in. Whitney and Dwayne, Conversations with Us, every Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Thank you for tuning in. We out.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We jamming? Hell yeah, we jamming. In the